Hello there, thanks for joining me. I am AVStoryteller, and I'd like to have a little chat regarding the gods of the Elder Scrolls series. And in this instance, one particular god, a god that I think arguably took the biggest hissy fit in the entire history of the Elder Scrolls series. Now that god was Azura. Now my story, what I would like to discuss, goes back to the time of Morrowind. And I think it brings up a few arguments about whether or not these gods truly are good or evil, whether they can actually make a moral judgment, or are they simply just fixated on a particular behavior or emotion or act of mankind. So, who is Azura? Azura is a Daedric Prince. And I'm just going to quickly clarify something here. Daedric Princes, they do not actually have a gender of male or female, though they may prefer to appear to mortals in a given gender. Azura, for example, tends to appear in female form. Now that actual appearance does change through the game in history, from a middle-aged woman to quite a young looking woman. Now Azura is the Daedric Prince of Dusk and Dawn, the magic between day and night. She's also been given titles such as Mother of the Rose and Queen of the Night Sky. Now the part I want to talk about predates Morrowind, but it's integral to the plot of Morrowind and the Neverland Prophecies. Now, Indril Neverlar was the leader of the Chimer people. The Chimer are what the Dunmer were before Azura took her legendary divine Hissy Fit, which was where they were changed from the Chimer into the Ashen Skin, Crimson-eyed Dunmer that we know today, and this was done by Azura. And it's this event that I want to have a quick chat about, because I think it also is relevant considering if you've played the new Dragonborn DLC, where Azura has come back to be worshipped as the new tribunal. But I'm getting ahead of myself here, so let's take a step back. Who was the original tribunal? The original tribunal was made up of Alamexia, who was Indril Nevar's wife, Sotha Sil, and Vivek, and they formed a council to Indril Nevar. And during the Battle of the Red Mountain, this is a battle not between the Nords but with the Dwemer, and it involves the Heart of Locan, which makes up the integral plot of Morrowind. And there are different stories depending on who's telling the story. Like if you're reading the book The Battle of Red Mountain and the Rise and the Fall of the Tribunal, which is authored by Vivek himself, it paints a slightly different picture than if you're reading the Ashlander text. Unlike the Dummer of the Great Houses, the Ashlander did not acknowledge the power of the Tribunal, rather they believed that the Tribunal betrayed Lord Nerevar at the Battle of Red Mountain. Okay, so the Battle of Red Mountain. Indril Nevar managed to gain access to the Red Mountain, came across the Heart of Locan and the three magical items, Keening, Sunder and Wraithguard, which were used to tap into the power of the Heart, and this is what gave those three tribunals their power. Now Indril was unclear whether or not these enchanted items should be used, so he decided to go back to his trusted counsellor, the Tribunal, to seek their advice, and he left his trusted friend Dagoth with the three enchanted items. And the Tribunal told Indril that they should keep hold of these items, keep them in trust in case the Dunmer ever come back and threaten the Chimer Race again. So they went back to Red Mountain, and they discovered that Dagoth had been somehow corrupted by the Heart of Locan, and he wasn't going to give up these magical items. So a fight ensued, and Indril was, in some accounts, mortally wounded and died of his wounds. In Ashlander text, however, Nevar was not killed in combat, but by his three advisors. In their account, Nevar made them swear to never use the tools, and they obeyed, but secretly they conspired to murder him so that they might use the tools to gain power. And so, when Indril was attempting to summon Azura, Alamexia, his wife, gave him poisoned candles to use. Sotha Sil gave him poisoned robes to wear, and Vivek gave him poisoned invocations to use, and this resulted in Navarre being murdered by the tribunal. However, Azura came and saw this, and this is what Sotha Sil said to Azura when she was summoned. The old gods are cruel and arbitrary, and distant from the hopes and fears of Mer. Your age is past. We are the new gods, born of the flesh and wise and caring of the needs of our people. Spare us your threats and your chiding. In constant spirit, we are bold and fresh, and we will not fear you. She was a little put out. So this is what she did. Not to the 3 people who had blasphemed her and had murdered her champion Indral. Oh no. She did this to the entire Dunmer race in an almighty divine temper tantrum. She cursed from that point on until the end of time the Chimer race. She changed them from being the golden skinned Chimer into the ashen skinned, crimson eyed Dunmer. Sotha Sil might have had a point. You don't actually have to look far to find more stories about how cruel and arbitrary Azura was. In fact, in the Morrowind game, there was a quest to reclaim her star, and this involved a bet. When you approach Azura, this is what she says to you. You have come here for a reason, though you may not know what it is. Sheogorath and I have made a wager. He contends that solitude causes madness, while I maintain it allows for solace and meditation. To test this, I've sent one of my priestesses to live alone on an island north of Dragonfell. If she can live there for 100 years, continuing her life of prayer, my theory will be proven. If not, Sheogorath wins our wager. The time has almost passed and she remains steadfast, but Sheogorath has tried to sway the decision in his favour. Travel there, rid the island of his minions, and bring back proof of his meddling. Do not disturb the wise woman though, as this would void our wager. Serve me and I'll reward you well. So if you do that and you get rid of the minions and you prove that Sheogorath is meddling, you get Azura's star. But the point is, she wasted 100 years of this priestess life just to prove a bet with Sheogorath, the god of madness. And here's the funny thing. If you're playing the Dragonborn DLC, you get told that the old tribunal has been cast aside. They have been changed into saints to kind of make the transition a little easier, but they are now returning to what they call the True Tribunal, the Reclamations, and that is made of Azura, Boethiah and Mephala. Now, in case you don't know, Boethiah is the Daedric Prince of deceit, conspiracy, treachery and sedition, and Mephala is the Daedric Prince of lies, sex, murder, secrets and plots, and she enjoys seducing and interfering in mortals' affairs for her own amusement. But despite this almighty divine Hissy Fit she took, and the company she keeps, it's a bit confusing that they are being welcomed with open arms as the new and true tribunal. It's hardly the wholesome upbringing that you would want little Dunmer Jr. to have. Maybe we should take a closer look at the other princes next.